Let's jump right in. If you've ever found yourself wondering how these massive, complex business problems actually get solved by modern digital platforms, well, you are in the right place. In today's explainer, we are literally reverse engineering how digital products go from just a raw concept on a whiteboard to a completely market-disrupting reality. We'll be using Sparkout Tech as our primary source here, pulling back the curtain on the exact strategies, the tech stacks, and the development processes that software agencies use to build everything from enterprise AI all the way to global blockchain ecosystems. So let's dive in and see how seamless digital transformation actually happens behind the scenes. Okay, get a load of this number, a staggering 300% profit margin lift. And no, that is not some optimistic business projection. That's a verified, reported metric experienced by farmers on a platform called FarmSync. Now, FarmSync is a Web3 ecosystem built by Sparkout, and this single number absolutely nails why modern tech infrastructure matters so much. It's not just about writing flashy code, it's about fundamentally restructuring how an entire industry does business to create massive, tangible financial impact. Just look at this quote from FarmSyn's founder, Yog Shrushti. He points out something totally critical. Understanding the messy, real-world economics of an industry is just as vital as the coding itself. The technology here wasn't just a basic tool. It was basically a targeted weapon used to completely dismantle the intermediaries. It's really the perfect case study of what happens when you perfectly align technical execution with a very specific, aggressive business goal. So, here is our roadmap for understanding these mechanics. We'll be covering building the FarmSync ecosystem, modern web development solutions, the agile development process, the technology stack breakdown, and finally, flexible developer hiring models. All right, Section 1, building the FarmSync ecosystem. Let's see exactly how this multi-trillion-dollar bottleneck was addressed. Right, so let's put this into perspective. A $5.6 trillion market, literally choking under a 90% middleman margin. Just think about how insanely inefficient that is for a second. That was the broken reality of the agricultural supply chain. But then, check out the streamlined Web3 solution that Sparkout engineered. By bringing blockchain technology into the mix, they spun up a decentralized ecosystem that brought over 200,000 verified farmers directly to the buyers. They didn't just digitize some clunky old process, they completely wiped out the need for intermediaries entirely. Talk about a game changer. Moving right along to Section 2, Modern Web Development Solutions. Let's zoom out a bit and look at the broader toolkit engineers use to solve these diverse challenges. Let's start with progressive web apps, or PWAs. These are absolutely huge right now. Basically, they anchor modern services by giving users that slick, native app-like experience, but with incredible cost efficiency. Imagine being able to give your users lightning-fast load times, push notifications, and even offline functionality, all while totally bypassing the nightmare that is the App Store approval process. PWAs run right in the web browser. That means you're getting seamless cross-device responsiveness and cost-effective delivery all wrapped up in one neat package. But beyond PWAs, there's a highly versatile menu of solutions they deploy. Say you're building a software-as-a-service company, they're spinning up robust, multi-tenant architectures and complex subscription tiers. In retail, it's full-scale e-commerce platforms with insane admin and vendor dashboards. They're even baking AI directly into websites for predictive search and really smart natural language chatbots. And, if you're a startup that just needs to test the market yesterday, they leverage no-code and low-code platforms for lightning-fast MVPs, or static web apps that have literally zero back-end complexity. It's all about matching the exact digital product to exactly where a business is in its life cycle. Okay, Section 3, the agile development process. Because you don't just sit down and start blindly typing code to build an AI or Web3 platform. Let's look at the operational roadmap. Now, Sparkout's source material actually outlines a rigorous 9-step workflow, but grouping it into these 3 main phases makes it super clear how they maintain those continuous testing and feedback loops. Phase 1 is all about alignment, discovering the actual business requirements, designing intuitive UI and UX, and mapping the whole back-end architecture. Then, Phase 2 is where the heavy lifting kicks in with agile sprints, developing the front-end and back-end simultaneously and plugging in third-party tools. Finally, Phase 3 ensures everything is bulletproof through heavy quality assurance testing, deployment, and the ongoing maintenance you need to actually scale the platform as the user base inevitably grows. Next up, Section 4, the technology stack breakdown. Let's pop the hood and look at the actual tools and languages powering all these phases. So, if you aren't a developer, this table might look a bit like alphabet soup, but the absolutely crucial takeaway here is versatility. On the front end, the part the user actually interacts with,
They rely on snappy, responsive frameworks like React and Vue.js. Underneath that, for the back-end logic, the brain of the whole operation, they can deploy anything from super-fast Node.js to highly scalable Python or Go. And for databases, they mix traditional relational databases like PostgreSQL with flexible, cloud-native beasts like Amazon DynamoDB. Having a toolbelt this diverse means the architecture is built exactly around what the product actually needs to succeed, rather than trying to force a square peg into a round hole. And that brings us to Section 5, Flexible Developer Hiring Models. Let's understand the practical reality of how businesses actually afford and scale these external teams.
Let's dive right into this number, $30. That is the stated starting hourly rate in US for hiring website developers from their team. Having that level of transparency upfront is huge. It gives businesses a concrete baseline for their budget, whether it's a scrappy startup trying to build out a prototype or a massive enterprise looking to augment their existing IT staff without the crushing overhead of traditional full-time in-house hiring. To actually accommodate those wildly different business needs, the source outlines 3 distinct ways to engage. You can go all in and hire a dedicated team, which gives you that long-term engineering continuity from the first architectural sketch all the way to launch. Now, if you just need a quick sprint of work to hit a specific milestone or get an MVP out the door, flexible contracts let you bring on help monthly or even hourly. And if you've already got an awesome team but they're stuck on a brutal technical roadblock, you can use their on-demand consulting that gives you expert code audits, architecture validation, and real scaling strategy. It's completely adaptable to whatever speed or budget the client is working with. And look, when you combine that kind of flexible hiring with a versatile tech stack and a seriously strict agile process, the results speak for themselves. These frameworks have been battle-tested across literally hundreds of projects over more than 9 years of reported operational history. The source specifically notes massive footprints in demanding sectors like fintech, healthcare, and the supply chain. And we all know those are industries where security, scalability, and data privacy absolutely positively cannot be compromised. So as we wrap up this explainer, I want you to jump back for a second to that staggering FarmScent case study from the beginning. Look at your own industry's limitations and really ask yourself, what kind of scalable architecture would it take to build your very own 300% profit lift success story? I mean, if a highly customized Web3 solution can completely wipe out a 90% middleman margin in global agriculture, what outdated bottlenecks in your world are just sitting there waiting to be completely dismantled by the right digital solution?